Edmonton, breaking up is hard to do, especially if you're common law and live in Alberta. While common law unions are on the rise, those couples in Alberta have a much harder time dividing their property at the end of the relationship, making legal battles a trial at best, and a nightmare at worst. A report by the Alberta Law Reform Institute recommends that common law couples have the same property division rules as those guiding married couples at the end of a relationship. Dreamstime, Laura Buckingham, legal counsel at the Alberta Law Reform Institute, said part of the problem is that there is no legal definition for what it means to be a common law couple in Alberta. Unlike Alberta, other provinces like Saskatchewan, Manitoba and British Columbia already have rules to help common law partners split assets when things go south. On Wednesday, the ALRI released a report recommending changes to property division law for common law couples to look more like similar rules guiding married couples. Buckingham, one of the researchers behind the report, said that recommendations aim to simplify what are often lengthy, complicated and costly court battles. But also, the report aims to clear up a couple misconceptions about what happens at the end of a common law relationship. Article continued below. One is that common law couples are treated exactly the same as married couples, Buckingham said. The other misconception is that people living in common law couples have no obligations to each other at all relating to property. Read more. A dying breed. Marijuana detection dogs could be out of a job after legalization. Alberta and Quebec pull vodka with Soviet simple from shelves after complaints reduce reuse and refashion. Ecology students sow new life into old threads in Alberta. Common law partners are lumped into a category called adult interdependent partners, described in the Adult Interdependent Relationships Act. To qualify, partners need to meet specific requirements, like living together for 3 years, or having a child while living together. According to the report, common law couples have the same obligations and responsibilities as married couples in the Matrimonial Property Act, but not the same property division rules that guide spouses in the event of a divorce. The study recommends that common law couples have the same property division rules as their married counterparts. Article continued. Below, laws for married couples include guidelines on the sort of property exempt from consideration, things partners owned before the relationship, or things that were gifted to them individually, for example. In the event that common law partners can't come to an agreement and decide to settle in court, decisions are based on unpredictable judge-made law, and calculated according to what each partner contributed during the course of a relationship. You have judges going through evidence about who paid the mortgage, who bought the groceries, who ate the groceries, who mowed the lawn, who paid the phone bills, who did the bulk of the child care, Buckingham explained. When you're dealing with a long-term relationship, they have to go in detail through all sort of facts, and it just makes the court cases very long and difficult. According to the research, trials of 5 days or more can cost tens of thousands of dollars. Of the cases studied for the report, many lasted as long as 3 years and reached costs around $100,000. Denise Buckner, a consultant from Calgary and mother of 3 children, knows firsthand the toll those trials can take. She said she was in court for more than 4 years fighting for her right to property accrued over the course of a 20-year-long common law relationship. It was a hell of a battle, and it was incredibly costly money-wise, Buckner said. But also the emotional toll on my family, on myself and my kids. I lost my job over it. Endless phone calls and emails from lawyers during work hours made the process intolerable. She estimates the legal costs at about $150,000 for her own case. I took a leave of absence and never went back because I was completely broken by the whole thing, Buckner added. While it was a lot of money to spend on lawyers, it didn't make sense to walk away with nothing. If there were laws to help guide the process, like with married couples, she feels that much of the distress could have been avoided. We weren't any different than anybody who was married, except that under the law, I didn't have a right to any of the assets that were accrued under my partner's name, where I would have had we been married. Buckingham said the report has been submitted to the government for consideration, and hopes that the changes will be implemented to put Alberta in line with other regions, if Alberta adopted legislation. Buckingham added, "We would be catching up with our neighbours."